également, désormais, grâce à la musique et grâce au cinéma, à Fernando, qui est avec nous aujourd'hui. Fernando, on s'assoit. Alors vous savez que, je vais vous faire une confidence, c'est que, même deux confidences en une, c'est que hier on s'est rencontrés à son hôtel pour affiner la rencontre de cet après-midi et j'ai découvert vraiment un compositeur bienveillant, enthousiaste, positif et surtout également terriblement bavard. C'est-à-dire que Jean-Michel Bernard à côté est un nain, un stagiaire. Vous allez pouvoir vous en apercevoir. Et puis deuxièmement, on a beaucoup de chance d'avoir Fernando aujourd'hui à la Gaité Lyrique et demain au Grand Rex pour deux raisons. C'est que Fernando est actuellement en plein travail sur, disons, à deux gros projets qui accaparent son temps. C'est premièrement un projet théâtral, scénique, avec le metteur en scène et dramaturge Olivier Pi pour Avignon l'année prochaine. Et puis, par ailleurs, un projet d'une autre nature, c'est que sa femme est enceinte. Elle a dépassé le cap des 9 mois et que dans quelques jours, Fernando va être papa pour la première fois. Je pense qu'on peut vraiment l'applaudir. Voilà, donc c'est vraiment une grande chance de l'avoir avec nous aujourd'hui. Fernando, je voudrais que... Tu comprends le français?
Oui.
Vraiment?
Jusqu'à ici, j'ai tout compris.
Ah, formidable. Pour la première fois, la Gaité Lyrique, Fernando Velazquez en français. Une première. Fernando, je voudrais que tu nous racontes... Donc, you can speak English, of course, for your answers. Est-ce que tu nous racontes également une question, enfin, que tu nous parles, que tu nous donnes ta réponse à une question à laquelle Jean-Michel a répondu tout à l'heure. Quels étaient tes rêves quand tu étais enfant et adolescent? Est-ce que tu voulais devenir musicien-interprète ou musicien-compositeur? On sait que tu es violoncelliste. Est-ce que tes rêves allaient vers le fait de devenir un musicien d'orchestre ou un musicien soliste? Ou est-ce que vraiment c'était l'écriture qui te motivait?
I never answered this question before. I mean, it's the first time I never thought about this. Because I'm not thinking about what I will do. I'm thinking about enjoying what I'm doing. So I really remember myself in the school. We had to do a little theater with all the colleagues in the school. So I remember myself using this recorder. You remember this thing? You press play and record, and then I had a bandurria, which is a small Spanish laúd, and I was just playing something. So later we would use it in the play. So I was composing the music for the play, but I was not thinking about I want to do this for a living. I was thinking, I love what I'm doing. And everything came one thing after the other without thinking in the long term, if you know what I mean. So I was playing the cello in a youth orchestra because I loved it, not because I thought I want to do this for a living, just because I loved it when I was doing it. And then the viola player asked me, I can see you are improvising a lot with the cello. So, my boyfriend just did a short film. I think you might like to write the music for him, for his short movie. And I said, of course I would love to. And then I did it. But I was not thinking that this guy who was doing the short movie would be finally doing a movie with Gary Oldman. Mm. And he was. But I was thinking about this thing, not about ages ago. So I don't know what I was dreaming. I was just enjoying what I was doing.
Yeah. Et quelles ont été les partitions et les films qui ont été déterminants pour ta vocation?
Wow, that's difficult to say because I don't think there is only one. Of course, I think as everyone here, and I hope everyone here, I remember Cinema Paradiso, the end of Cinema Paradiso.
Les baisers?
Yeah, especially because if you watch it without the music, it's just like a documentary. It's like it's just some facts. It has no emotion. It's difficult to believe because it's people kissing, loving each other, but it doesn't work without the music. And I remember that I heard the music first before, and I was so touched by this music. And then I saw it, and then I was crying, and maybe I was 10. And I think when you are 10 years old, you don't care much about kisses. You're like, you know. So I think I was in love with this music, and then of course it came the mission, and of course I was born in 76. So what can I tell you about Williams and about all these things? So, but I cannot remember a moment when I thought, oh, I want to do this for a living, or this is going to be my job, because this is a confession I'm doing. Maybe I shouldn't be telling this, but for me it's still like a hobby. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's we have the deadlines and we have to deal with directors that get crazy or producers that are afraid of something. But it's a hobby for me. It's a hobby. Being here with you is also like a hobby. It's wonderful. I just can't believe myself that I'm doing this. So it was never like a vocation, like I want to do this and I will study. Because even studying music is already enjoying music, for me at least.
Alors, quand on a demandé à Fernando de choisir vraiment une séquence emblématique, une séquence par exemple qui lui fait monter les larmes, et qui a été pour lui vraiment une source d'influence, un repère dans sa jeunesse, il a choisi ceci et ça nous rattache directement à ce qu'il vient de nous dire sur Cinema Paradiso, parce que c'est évidemment un film mis en musique par le maestro italien Ennio Morricone.
It speaks by itself, doesn't it? I mean, I'm really touched again when I watch it. It's what it's telling, and it's the way it's told, because it's a very clear scene when you understand all the movie, you understand what it's telling. Of course, I love also what it's telling. I love the message here in this movie, and I think everyone understands what it's telling, and the music makes it so completely magical and powerful that. And I also understand and understood even, I was remembering the first time I saw it, and I understood everything that is happening in the music too. You know, you have these high violins that Morricone is using a lot for psychological thing. You have his theme, the Gabriel's in the in the beginning it's like blurred in the bassoon, and you have the boom thing, which means, I don't know what it means, but it's telling it so well. So I remember, I was not even as touched as now when I watch it for the first time, but I understood all the layers immediately. And it's a wonderful mixture of source music that is not really source music because it was created for it. It's a choir that they sing. It's something that means something in the beginning and means something even more powerful in the end when mixed with all these layers. So I think this is the most powerful way of telling things that human beings we have, because music is powerful. When you mix it with stories, it's even stronger. So as I told you, I never thought I would do this. I want to do this when I'm older. I thought I want to do it now. So I started with the plays in the school, in the theater in the school.
Il y a quelque chose qui est très important dans le parcours de Fernando, c'est qu'il a vraiment démarré avec deux cinéastes importants, Juan Antonio Bayona et Oscar Santos, qui sont deux cinéastes de sa génération. Et j'ai le sentiment qu'il y a ce côté un peu vraiment appartenance générationnelle, le fait de démarrer en même temps avec des cinéastes qui n'ont pas 10 ans, 20 ans, 30 ans de plus que toi, mais avec des cinéastes qui ont exactement ton âge. Tu es d'accord avec ça?
Mais oui, and I consider myself so lucky that I met them. But the great thing is that we all met, because you can put in this, you can put Guillermo Morales, who did Julia's Eyes. You could put Nacho Vigalondo, who did many films, and many Spanish filmmakers. The great thing is that we all were doing this because we love it, and not thinking about, as I told you, not thinking about we want to do a movie later. No, let's do this and let's love it. And I consider myself so lucky. Yes, I completely agree with you about this. Yes, and especially you know, when I met Juan Antonio Bayona, he was just a guy who did a short movie, and he heard another short movie that I did, and so he wanted me in his film. but I never knew he would be working, these wonderful movies that he did and the wonderful movies that he will do.
Yeah. Alors avec Oscar Santos, donc il y a eu 2 films. Il y a eu El Mal Reno d'abord, et puis Zippy et Zappé, dont on va voir tout de suite un extrait. C'est le 3e module pendant la sélection des extraits. Et c'est un film important parce que c'est une adaptation d'une bande dessinée très célèbre en Espagne. Et c'est un film un peu avec le syndrome, un peu le Club des 5, les Goonies, avec un groupe d'enfants dans un pensionnat, une énigme, un jeu de piste, des passages secrets. Et beaucoup de références. C'est-à-dire que quand on entend Santos, quand il parle du film, il disait forcément, je pense aux musiques des films de Spielberg, à John Williams, je pense aussi aux grands compositeurs qui ont inspiré Williams, Shostakovich, Rossini, Prokofiev. Comment est-ce qu'on arrive à trouver sa propre voix, tout en ayant ces références-là, qui te sont imposées?
Well, maybe I'm not that good at copying. So finally, even if I do a copy, it feels like mine. I'm joking in a way, but I think there is a little problem in film music now, not 20 or 30 or 40 years ago, is that we copy the copy of the copy of the copy, which is strange because in the end the copy of the copy of the copy may be just a bad copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. But if you copy the master, not copy, but you follow this thing. You should never forget that Donizetti was copying Rossini, and Rossini was in a way copying Mozart. It's not bad to be in the way of. So I think if you study and if you like the music and if you work on it, you cannot run away from yourself, because music is. The way music happens, even if you try to copy, you cannot do it exactly the same way. And at least I have the feeling that my voice is always there. Even it's the same with Hercules, because it's the style is quite clear, and the drums and the and the triplets and everything. But I think the melody, and a friend of mine told me when he listened, and I think it was Oscar Santos, the director of Zippy Zappé, when he listened the theme slow in the piano, he said, "Oh, this is you. This cannot be anyone else." And then, of course, we can use all these guys, all the clothes you like. We can wear it as a Roman, as a Greek, or as a dead ghost or something. But it always sounds like me. I don't consider this as bad or good. It's just what it is.
Et ben voilà donc comment notre ami Fernando a réussi à tenir compte de ce cahier des charges, de tous ces paramètres qui lui sont donnés sur ce film, et malgré tout, comme il l'expliquait lui-même, à trouver, à tracer sa propre voix. Donc Zippy et Zappé. C'est vraiment c'est un vrai pouvoir émotionnel. On a l'impression que tu as écrit la musique d'un film que tu aurais toi-même voulu voir quand tu avais 12 ans.
That's exactly what it was our aim when doing it. And this was exactly what Oscar, the director, was saying. He said, let's do the film that we would have liked to see when we were younger. I would tell you a couple of things about this, and one is never underrate the power of the sound guy who can make your cue disappear because he's making because there is a moment of silence which was not silence, it was a big pedal of music like waiting for the sphere to come out, and I loved how it worked, but then they thought in the mix it would be better to have the noises, so you never know what is going to happen with your music. And the other thing is just very simple, but I love to do it, and as Morricone does it, and all the composers that I like, is to mix both, they call diegetic and not diegetic thing, layers, I don't know how they call it in English. So here you have the little music box, which is, they can hear it, and then in a magic way, and I don't think anyone realizes, we go from this to film music with the mix. I love how this happens, and I think it in a way it's a sign of the power of music when we see pictures with music. You know, I feel sometimes like in it's called Fantasy, the movie, the Disney movie. I feel like the what's the Paul Dukas?
L'apprenti sorcier.
I feel a little bit like this because I have a power that I don't know how to use. It's so powerful and that sometimes it can be dangerous because you can help people believe or desire wrong things.
Yeah.
So and Wagner is the big example of this, and the big example of film music before films and transmitting wrong ideas with it. So I just surrender before the power of music in films. It's amazing.
Ben moi, pour tout vous dire, j'avais découvert notamment l'écriture de Fernando avec un film américain de série fantastique qui s'appelle Devil, qui date de 2010, donc c'est un film qui a 4 ans. Et je dois vous avouer que le générique du film m'avait défenestré. À la fois par l'image, par la musique et par le rapport de l'image et de la musique. Vous allez voir le générique tout de suite. Mais je voudrais, et on ne l'a absolument pas préparé, j'espère que Fernando va être d'accord, pour vous faire comprendre ce qu'est le travail d'orchestration. Est-ce que tu serais d'accord d'abord de nous jouer au piano le début du thème du générique de Devil et ensuite d'expliquer comment tu l'as orchestré pour créer cette espèce d'électrochoc par l'utilisation de l'orchestre. D'accord?
Non?
Oui? Non. On lui demande tout, il dit oui, c'est saisissant.
Okay, it's very easy. It's just using things that are not usual and wrong. This is what Shostakovich did, but this is what Bach did, and in a way it's what Gesualdo was also doing. So just using strange intervals, and I think if I played it like this, you would think it's okay. There you hear, and it sounds like we can have a nice melody, but if you play like this, and then if you mess around with the intervals and you tell like everything is not in its place, and you add nines and sevens for the guys who know harmony, this is easy, and you do something like. The whole film is composed with this bam 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 theme, and then what I use is, okay, what's the lower instrument in the orchestra, and let's use only this and add lots of percussion. And but I'm very happy with the music I did, and I don't want to say the music is not good, but I think the inspiration for it came from the film and from the story that they are telling. So I was just following the book in a way.
Yeah. Alors moi je vous propose, si vous êtes d'accord, de regarder et surtout d'écouter ce générique de Devil, parce que vous allez voir à quel point c'est presque une vision mais subjective, à la fois à travers l'image mais aussi à travers l'apport de la musique de Fernando, une vision subjective du mal qui va s'infiltrer dans un immeuble de Manhattan. Si vous voulez passer un très bon 31 décembre, je vous encourage à écouter la bande originale de Devil, écrite par Fernando. Vous allez faire un réveillon sublime. Mais ce qui est drôle, c'est que ce que tu disais tout à l'heure, c'est que tu dis que l'inspiration vient des images. Est-ce que tu sens que des idées peuvent être déclenchées par un scénario, ou est-ce qu'au contraire, il te manque les visages des acteurs, les couleurs, la lumière, le découpage? Tu préfères quoi?
I'm awful, terrible with the scripts. They say nothing to me. I understand the story. Maybe I understand what might happen, but my brain just starts working when I watch images. So even I had commissions for ballets also, and I was working with the choreographer, and the choreographer would tell me what it would be like, but I was unable to imagine. And he told me, yes, but I need the music so that the dancers can start doing it. So my only way of working was taking another ballet and put the music to it. Just remove the music and with the images do the music for the ballet. Because with images in movement, my brain starts working. And the other day I was speaking with a colleague, and he told me that this is, in a way, the brain works like this. It's when you move, as time is the essence of music. When you move and you dedicate time to move, and you see time as a movement, then your brain starts thinking also like this. It's a great thing. And then you read that Beethoven would find his ideas when walking around Vienna, and Brahms was the same. So in a way, it's nice to know that the brains work like this. So I use it a lot, and so when I have a walk or I'm in a train, I have lots of ideas. Or when I watch the movie, if I have the script, I can do something, but most of times it doesn't work.
Ouais. Hier, quand on parlait par rapport justement à ces méthodes d'écriture, on déjeunait ensemble, Fernando mangeait des pâtes, et quand on a commencé à parler de grands exemples de compositeurs qui ont créé sous la pression des délais, et on parlait par exemple des grandes partitions, Michel Legrand qui écrit Un été 42 en 3 jours, ou Jerry Goldsmith qui écrit Chinatown en 5 jours, et Fernando l'a bondi quasiment, il m'a dit mais moi aussi ça m'est arrivé, quand je n'ai pas le temps de trouver, de chercher, je trouve. Donc la pression des délais, le fait d'être vraiment d'avoir un mur devant toi, ça déclenche les idées.
Completely. But there is a problem nowadays is that as the cut is not, the cut is offline, so they can keep cutting the movie until the very last day. They change the cut so many times that it's very difficult to catch up. I remember, for instance, in Mama, they needed a 5-minute sequence for some film market or something, and they didn't know, so they told them the day before, and I had to do 6 minutes in the morning. But they sent me the cut. You know, they sent me what it must be, not something that they would edit and maybe add or remove. It was exactly what it was, and it came like this. Like I told you yesterday, maybe you can tell him about this Spanish composer who compared film music to, I don't want to say it because it's a little rude, you know. Maybe you can explain it. So he was comparing it like, don't tell this, please don't record this. Going to the bathroom, because it's something you do, but you don't think about it. So film music for him was like this: you just do it. You don't have time to think about it. You do it. And the theme of the impossible that we may talk about later was like this. Juan Antonio told me, I need something. I had a scoring session for another thing, and I said, I think I can take 20 minutes to record something. So he sent me just a moment of the movie, and he told me, I want this, this, and that. And then I did the theme, and it was 20 minutes. And then it was the theme for the movie. Mm-hmm. There is something in, and it's magical, and it's great when you find it, and then everyone loves it, because you have something that they like more than the theme track.
Puisque Fernando parle de The Impossible, il faut absolument qu'on parle de ce film, qui peut être vraiment, dans sa filmographie, l'un de ses travaux vraiment essentiels, majeurs, décisifs. Comme je vous le disais tout à l'heure, c'était une grosse production espagnole, tournée en langue anglaise. Et le metteur en scène, Bayona, disait, je vais vous citer la phrase, parce que j'aurais trop peur de l'écorcher, il disait qu'il a longtemps parlé avec le petit garçon, qui s'appelait Simone, de rescapé, de cette famille de rescapés. Et le petit garçon lui a dit, et c'est une phrase qui pour lui a beaucoup marqué, « Je n'étais plus le même enfant après les événements du tsunami, j'avais changé, mais je ne pourrais pas expliquer à quel niveau. » Et c'est une très belle phrase, à la fois précise et un peu abstraite. Et Fernando nous a raconté hier que finalement tu avais été amené à structurer ta partition sur 2 thèmes. Est-ce que tu peux nous expliquer comment, pourquoi, et éventuellement les jouer?
Well, I think most of most of works that work well have a great script before inside, and the music, as another text in the story, needs its own script. So it's great when you find a director who wants to work with the themes, and the themes don't necessarily be themes, maybe just notes or tones or ideas, and then he knows what to do and what expectative to create in the beginning and how to work with, and in a way just play with the audience, because this is why we pay 10 euros. How much is it here? 11 euros to you go to the cinema. Maybe you want to be shocked by the movie, you want to feel something. So it's great when there is big intelligence before and it's planning things. So Juan Antonio, after struggling a lot with it, found out what it was about. And it's not only, maybe it's life and death, but it's also the feeling of why, and in the movie it's really well explained, why did I survive and others didn't? Which is, in a way, is terrible, because it's this is this family who survived. They felt guilty because they had friends who didn't survive, and their friends struggled in the same way, but they didn't survive. So there's not any achievement, there's not any joy in surviving, because it's not your merit, it's not your achievement. You don't know what it happens. So the death is more this feeling of why this happened and why did I survive and the others didn't. But on the other hand, that this family, when they reunited, they were extremely relieved and I wouldn't say happy, but maybe they were happy, like super high because they met. So these themes were both in the movie. Of course, there are secondary themes, but we put all this together. So if tomorrow, when tomorrow you are coming to the concert and you listen to Impossible, maybe the suite feels wrong in a way, and I really want to see what you say when you listen, because the ending is. The ending is, it sounds like it's going to end, and I added another ending, which means this death, but in the very end, and it's the very end of the credits, the very, very end of the credits, I put the head of the theme for the family love, and which for me means a hug. Means because the center of the movie is a hug. So, and this hug in the end means hugging, I don't know who, I don't know if it's in this earth or somewhere else. It means finally reuniting, which I take it in a religious way, but I don't mean it in a religious way for everyone. Maybe nature, maybe God, maybe being, I don't know. So I put this in the end of the credits, and I'm so happy because many people told me, in the end, I feel this relief with this very, very calm music. And this idea is actually taken from Mahler's second symphony, which ends also in this way, with light. It's not that I'm copying Mahler. I think this is something we need to tell, we need to talk about, and I talk about with music. So I will. You want me to
play the main theme, if you wish. Et on va juste enchaîner sur la résonance de la dernière note de Fernando au piano sur l'extrait de The Impossible.
So this would be the family theme, family and love and. Then after struggling, they reunite, and the chords underneath are always the same, and they are the same as in many, even the mission also. It's Western music. You could sing, I don't know how many thousands of songs on these chords. I won't tell you any song, but there are so many. So I'm using the same chords, but I put the theme of the harp, which is when they meet, the theme is huge with the whole orchestra and very high and very emotional. This is the live family reuniting theme, and then the death is not by chance. Is in C minor, which for Baroque people meant either dream or death or something like it. And now that I listen, I realize that both themes are made with the same material, the same melody in a way that it's not the same theme and it means something completely different.
Yeah.
But it's the same material which could be life, if you want to put it this way.
Alors après avoir écouté les 4 thèmes principaux au piano, voici comment Fernando a orchestré l'un d'entre eux, et vous allez voir, il y a quelque chose de magique dans l'horreur de la situation à l'image et la pudeur et la délicatesse des sentiments, je dirais presque le retrait de la musique par rapport à ce que raconte l'image et qui du coup la renforce mais au 2e degré. Et vous allez entendre cette mélodie magique avec une harpe en lévitation sur le visage et le regard surtout de Naomi Watts. The Impossible, Juan Antonio Bayona, mise en musique par Fernando. On parlait hier avec Fernando de Nuit et brouillard, le célèbre court-métrage d'Alain Resnais, où Resnais pensait que face à des images, notamment l'ouverture des camps de concentration, il fallait surtout pas une musique qui essaie de traduire la barbarie des camps, parce que rien ne pouvait être plus fort que ces images-là. Et que donc la musique de Nuit ou brouillard était volontairement une musique avec une forme d'étrange neutralité, ce qui avait d'ailleurs choqué certains critiques à l'époque. Et là, c'est la même chose dans ce qu'a écrit, je trouve, Fernando. Il y a cette espèce un peu de retrait volontaire qui, comme je vous disais, je trouve renforce vraiment, je ne sais pas si vous partagez ce sentiment, la force dramatique, l'impact dramatique de l'image. Et il y a une photo, moi, qui m'a beaucoup marqué. C'est une photo de la personne, de la femme qui a inspiré le personnage de Naomi Watts, qui s'appelle Maria Bellone, et qui a assisté à l'enregistrement. Est-ce que tu pourrais nous dire 2 mots là-dessus, sur cette femme, Maria, qui vient à l'enregistrement de The Impossible, qui est à tes côtés, et qui à Abbey Road, à Londres, et qui va parler aux musiciens. Comment s'est passé ce moment d'avoir la vraie personne qui a vécu ces événements tragiques et qui assiste à l'enregistrement de la musique qui raconte de façon, fictionnelle, l'histoire qui lui est arrivée?
Well, it was a recording session, and recording sessions are always very stressful for composers. So it was a great moment in the middle of a big, it's always little time and you have to hurry. But she said something that, in a way, is justifying the whole things we are doing. Also, your job, my job, and all these crazy things we did. She said that only with art, and she told it to the players there in a supernatural way. It was not like a doctor in aesthetics who's coming, or a philosopher or a priest or something. She was telling us that only with this way of telling things, with art in a way, with music, with films, with acting, we can go beyond and tell things that can only be told by words. This was really the moment, and it was also great because the players understood what it was about immediately. And you can hear this energy in the recording. But for me, also meeting her, she's actually very nice and funny person. She's not like a priest or something. She's super funny, and this moment was completely magical because I think for all that we were there, she helped us understanding that what we do has a deep meaning, that it's magical and wonderful because it's the only way of talking about these things.
Donc tu penses que son témoignage a influencé les musiciens sur leur jeu, sur leur interprétation?
I think she did. Yes. And I try to get the players understanding what it means, because I think it's great. And this moment was completely magical. Yes.
Je suis désolé, là, une fois de plus, je vois malheureusement le temps qui rétrécit. Je ne voudrais surtout pas vous priver de questions à Fernando. Je voudrais vraiment qu'on profite de sa présence en France pour la première fois, pour cette première conférence qu'il donne dans notre pays, pour que vous puissiez également lui poser toutes les questions que vous souhaitez. Alors, il y a des micros parmi vous, je vous en prie. Allez, la première tout de suite.
Bonjour Fernando, merci beaucoup. Je voulais savoir la qualité principale d'un compositeur pour le cinéma, c'est quoi selon vous?
Sorry, I didn't understand well. Can you translate it? You mean the biggest joy?
No. The first quality for being
the first quality.
A film music composer.
The first quality. It depends on what kind of film composer, but I think it's storyteller. I think this is the most important, that you want to tell stories. And then if you want to tell, the second one that would be as important would be loving teamwork, because it's impossible that you do everything by your own. So you have to work with a director, and you have to work with an editor, and you have to
La collaboration, l'idée de ne pas travailler égoïstement pour soi,
teamwork.
d'aimer le travail en équipe.
Yeah.
Une autre question, je vous en prie. Ah non, je suis déçu là, écoutez.
Bonjour. J'ai remarqué souvent dans l'art espagnol, surtout le cinéma et la musique de film, du coup, il y a quelque chose de plus exacerbé, de plus passionné. On remarque souvent, par exemple, dans les films d'horreur espagnols ont depuis longtemps, depuis une dizaine d'années, une grande réputation, car ils arrivent à surpasser ce que les Américains ont fait pendant des années, quelque chose de plus vraiment puissant. Est-ce que vous êtes d'accord avec ça, ou vous trouvez que c'est complètement hors de propos ce que je dis?
I think I understood. Yes. You said if we have this passion or something that makes no.
Not exactly.
Okay.
Being Spanish, you need
Yes,
something more passionate, and.
Yes, that's what I understood.
Yes. Okay. Je sers à rien finalement. Je vais y aller.
You know, I'm Spanish, but I'm Basque. If you know the Basque, we are not very passionate, are we? So, well, as you said before, I belong to a generation of wonderful. They are like 8. I think Roque Baños is 10 or 8 years older than me, and then Alberto Iglesias is like 20 or a little less.
Navarrete
also is a little older, I would say. And I know there are many guys behind coming that they are pushing hard. They will do great things. I don't know what's the reason. I can tell you by these guys that I spoke about that we love what we do, and we love doing it. I don't know if this is a good answer, because there is a lot of French music that is also wonderful and passionate, I think.
Mais il y a quand même une nouvelle tradition, une nouvelle école du cinéma fantastique espagnol, avec des musiques qui correspondent à ce cinéma-là et dont tu fais partie intégrante.
Oui, complètement.
Ouais. D'ailleurs, écoutez, je vais tout vous dire. Quand j'ai vu un peu la sélection des extraits, je suis tombé de ma chaise et j'ai dit à Fernando, il faut qu'on trouve une solution, parce qu'on va ouvrir la rencontre sur le massacre de Mission, Ensuite, on va voir le diable qui s'infiltre dans un immeuble. Ensuite, on va avoir les dégâts, les ravages du tsunami en 2004. Il faut quand même terminer sur quelque chose d'un peu optimiste et ensoleillé. Et je pense qu'il a totalement compris ce que je lui demandais, puisqu'il m'a spontanément suggéré un extrait de Mama. Pour terminer cette rencontre, ça fait rire. Et je dois dire que tu as tenu à ce qu'on voit la toute dernière séquence de ce film. Enfin, on va voir la fin de la dernière séquence, qui est très très longue. Et quelque chose qui m'avait beaucoup frappé en voyant le film à l'époque, c'est qu'il y a à la fois les codes de la musique pour un film de genre, fantastique, et en même temps, il y a le pari presque de l'émotion, en tout cas du lyrisme. Et les deux qui se mêlent. Est-ce que tu peux expliquer ton intention sur cette séquence que l'on va voir tout de suite?
This was done in a day, this sequence. So I cannot explain you really how I did it, because of course the annoying thing was to follow the edits they did, because they lose frames here and there, so you have to change the structure. But the whole thing came like this when I was watching. As I told you before, when I have the story and sometimes I use a lot of technique, composition technique, like as I told you, I'm using C minor when it's death, and then I know what chords to use to mean something, but in the end it's something magical. And I think here I was just following the spirit of the whole story, and you have Jessica Chastain, and you have wonderful girls, and you have Nikolai also. It's a wonderful cast, and it's a beautiful story. So I was just following the story of Mama, the story of the ghost, and trying to address to the beauty of her story. It's a terrible story, but it's beautiful. And maybe the orchestra helped a lot, because using a big orchestra and using the symphonic way helps a lot. But I was trying just to be emotional as if I was living myself this story, or if I knew her, or if she was my family or a friend of mine.
Donc voilà cette idée de cette séquence finale, donc à la fois l'idée d'un fantôme qui doit enlever deux petites filles. Il y a juste une d'entre elles qui va disparaître, et il y a l'idée à la fois de la séparation, de l'adieu à la mère biologique, et il y a quelque chose d'étrange, de troublant, de vénéneux et en même temps d'émotionnel dans le traitement de Fernando. On regarde et on écoute. Juste pour terminer, j'ai envie de demander à Fernando, poser une question un peu tarte à la crème, mais il a eu l'occasion de mettre en musique plusieurs films américains récemment. Il vit toujours à Madrid. Est-ce que tu veux continuer à écrire pour le cinéma européen et le cinéma anglo-saxon en faisant des allers-retours, ou est-ce que tu vas penser à un moment donné, ou non, t'installer à Los Angeles?
I mean, you invented cinema. France, Europe, we invented cinema. So I think we have so much to say that it's wonderful to be able, as wonderful Alexander Desplat, to be doing films there, but I love my country. I love to be there, and I think we have a lot to say. It's wonderful that we are influenced by American films, but I think American films are much more influenced by European films in a way that we don't know, because I think we go forward, and we have a lot to tell. So I don't think there's not a big point in moving there. And as a very important director told me, in LA they love what they cannot have, you know. So if you are here, and I think this is one of the big things of the Splat, is he's here. So they love him more because he's here, you know, and they love him because he's great and he's doing an amazing career and amazing jobs, but they like it because they know they cannot have him. So.
Complètement. En tout cas, moi je voulais vraiment, pour terminer cette rencontre, qu'on trouve une solution, une surprise, et Fernando l'a apporté lui-même, spontanément. C'est qu'il est venu en famille à Paris, il est venu avec son frère, qui est guitariste, et il est venu également avec sa belle-sœur, qui s'appelle Monica. Et il nous a dit tout à l'heure, à Jérôme Lader et moi-même, eh bien pour terminer cette rencontre, je voudrais faire un petit cadeau, une surprise musicale, avec moi au piano et Monica au chant. Est-ce que vous êtes d'accord?
Ouais.
Alors encouragez-le.
So just let me tell you, as Stefan said, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky that I'm doing Mama and Impossible and all these films, but I was also so lucky last year that I scored a very small Spanish movie called Ocho Apellidos Vascos. Maybe you will hear about it, or maybe you won't. It was 2 million euros budget, very small. I did it in 5 days because they were late, blah, 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 blah. And it actually did 60 million euros in the box office. 60, which is the biggest success ever in Spain by far, because the second one is Impossible with 41. And we were so surprised. It's a very small comedy about people from the Basque Country and Andalusia. So I did a song. I love songs. I love wonderful music. I hope someday I will be here with comedies and a different kind of stuff, because as you see, I'm not a dark guy. I didn't even celebrate Halloween yesterday. So this is the main theme of the movie. It's just a pop song. It's a gift for you. I hope everything works well because it's completely improvised. But as I see Bernard's wonderful music, I said I have to do something. So thank you. It has been a wonderful pleasure to be with you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yo pensé que era feliz